Hello friends, in this video we'll discuss about the pseudocodes that are being asked in the Capgemini campus and off-campus placements. So we'll discuss 5 actual questions that have been asked in Capgemini in the recent 3-4 days. So let's start. So let's go ahead and check out the latest pattern of the Capgemini selection process. So according to the new pattern, they will have a technical pseudocode round, which will be a MCQ based round. So we'll see this in detail. We have already created another video discussing all the details of the Capgemini interview. So in the pseudocode round, right, first you have to understand what pseudocode is. So pseudocode is an informal way to express the design of a computer program. So it is essentially an easy to understand format of the code, right? And it is a representation of the algorithm. So this is just an algorithm of what you are trying to do in a program. This round is an elimination round, and if you are not able to clear this, you will not be able to go and proceed in the selection process. There will be 20 questions and there will be 20 minutes. So the questions are not very difficult, and most of the questions are mostly about, they will be manipulating a variable inside the code, and you have to find out what is the value of that variable at the end of the code. So let's start with a very simple example. This is again an actual question that has been asked in Capgemini. So what happens is, we will see that there are two integers a and b, right? And we are setting the value of a to 10 and b to 10 as well. So both the values are 10. Now a is equal to a ampersand b. What is this ampersand? Ampersand stands for bitwise AND. So this is bitwise AND operator. What does AND do? It basically, if you do an AND of 1 and 0, the result will be 0. If the AND of 1 and 1, it will be 1. If the inputs are 0 and 1, the output is 0. And if it is 0, 0, the output is 0. So what happens here is, if the values are different, the output is 0 in case of bitwise AND. And if the output, if the inputs are same, then the output is, if the inputs are only 1, right, both are 1, only then you get 1, otherwise you will get 0. So we'll see how do you represent. Just a minute. So we will see how to represent 10 in binary. How do you represent binary, right? How do you represent something in binary? There are 4 positions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just take 4 bits here. So first is 1, 2, 4 and 8. So this is basically 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2 and 2 to the power of 3, right? So this is how it goes. So if you place 1 here, then you have to add this 1, right? And if you place 0 here, you have to skip this. So in case of 10, the binary representation is 2 plus 8, which is 0, 1 here, because 2 has to be taken into consideration, then 0 and then 1. So this is A, which is 10, right? Then B is equal to 10 as well. So the binary representation will be 1 0 1 0 here. Now the result will be 0, 1 plus 1 is 1 into 1, 1 and 1 is 1, right? Then 0 and 0 is 0, is again 0, and 1 and 1 is 1. So this is again the same number. So what we understand is that if we AND something with itself, it will always remain the same. So the result is also 10. So if you AND 10 and 10, you will always get 10. This is the only thing that you have to understand. If you know this problem can be solved very easily. So B is equal to B and 10. B, what is the value of 10? What is the value of B? It is 10. 10 and 10 is 10. So B will again remain 10. A is equal to B and A, which means B is also 10, A is also 10, hence the output will be 10, as we have seen here already, right? B is equal to B and 10, again 10. So B is also 10, A is also 10. So print A plus B. 10 plus 10 is equal to 20. Hence C is the answer, right? So it's a very simple question, and pseudocodes are generally simple. You just have to be very attentive to what they are trying to do in the question. So let's go ahead and move to the second question. So here is the second question. What will be the output of this? Let me clear the whole thing here. right? So let's go ahead and discuss the second problem. What will be the output of the following pseudocode, right? This is the whole pseudocode. What are we doing here? We are creating a function here. See, this is a function which returns an integer type and takes an input also, which is an integer. Then we create an integer inside another variable of integer type inside this function, which is b. Then we set the value of b to 10 and then return a minus b. So whatever value you pass to this function, it subtracts 10 with that number and returns it. So it is always be a minus 10. So whatever you insert here, right, you will get 10 less than that. So integer a is equal to 50. You are creating another integer and then you are calling the function a. So fun of 50 will be called. So here a is equal to 50. What are we doing here? b is equal to 10, right? A minus b is equal to 50 minus 10, which is 40, right? So the answer will be 40. This is the correct answer. Again, very simple question. Let's go ahead and discuss the third question. What will be the output of the following program, right? Following pseudocode for n is equal to 98. What if the value of n is 98 in this whole program? This is a little difficult and you have to pay a lot of attention here. So function, we are again creating a function which returns integer and takes integer as an input. If n is greater than 100, then you return n minus 10. If the number is not greater than 100, then return a recursive call, right, which is fun of n plus 20. So you have to understand how you have to process this particular code. This particular line is the most important here. So n is equal to 98. So here n is 98 here, right? Now is n greater than 100? It is not. Hence this line will not get executed right now. It will call this function, this line, which is fun of n plus 20. N was 98. 98 plus 20, 108 and 118, right? So we have 118. So you will call this function now. Now what will happen is fun will be called with 118. Here now the value will be 118. The moment you call this, it is more than 100. So return n minus 10, which is 108. So this whole thing will get replaced by 108. So fun of 108 will be here, right? This is the next line. When you call 108, this value will be now 108. N is 108. Is it 100? Is it greater than 100? Yes. So return n minus 10, which is the value will be return. It will return 98, right? Hence the answer is 98. Okay. So this is what we have to do here. So the loop, this function will get called twice. Every time we are subtracting 100. If it is great, we are subtracting 10, right? That's why 2 times 10 will get subtracted. Hence the output will be 98. I hope that it is very clear to you. Please ask your doubts in the comment if you have any, if you do not understand anything. Let's go ahead and check the fourth question. This is the second last question. So what will be the output of the following pseudocode? Integer ABCD, there are 4 integers. Got it? We are setting the values of B to 6, A to 8, C to 2 and D to 1. Now if B cap A, right? What is this cap? Again, in pseudocode, this is not power. Just like other languages, it is not power. It stands for XOR. What is XOR? XOR is something that returns 1 only when the 2 inputs are different. Which means, let's build a table. Generally the bitwise table that we create, right? And 1 1. What is the output of this? 0. What is the output of this? 1. What is the output of this? 1, because the inputs are different. If the inputs are same, it will always return 0. Here 1 and 1 both are same, hence the output will be 0. So we understand this 0 1 is 1. So if the inputs are different, we will have 1, right? So if B mod A, B XOR A, right? And what is this modulus? Modulus is the remainder, right? So if you divide B XOR A by C, what is the remainder? That will come here, okay? And then if it is equal to 0, then d is equal to d plus 1, else d is equal to d minus 1, right? So this is going to be again a very simple program once you understand how XOR works, right? So how do you represent B6? How do you represent 6 in binary, in bits? So again we'll see that there are 4 places. We already know that 1, 2, 4 and 8, right? 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 3. I hope you understand this, right? So in case of 6, it is 4 plus 2. So you know that 1, 1, 0, this is 6. So 6 is equal to this. What is A? So A is 8. How do you represent 8? 1, 0, 0, 0, because we just have to make this as 1, right? What is the XOR of these two? 0, 1, 0 is different, hence 1, 1, 0 is again different here, right? If you see here, 1 and 0 is different, again 1, and here also it is 1. What is the value of this? 2 plus 4 plus 8, which is 2 plus 4 plus 8, right? So which is equal to 8 plus 4 is 12 plus 2, which is 14, hence 14, right? So we'll see, this gets replaced by 14. So 14 modulus C. Is 14 divisible by C? 14 by 2 is 7 and there is no remainder, hence this is 0. So 0 equals 0, this is true, hence D is equal to D plus 1. What is D? D is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, right? Hence the output will be here 2. Hence that is our answer, right? So this is our answer B. I hope you understand everything. Let's go ahead and check out the next question. What will be the output of the following pseudocode, right? Integer x, y, z and a. There are 4 integers again. X is equal to 6, y is equal to 8 and z is equal to 1. A is you have to find out the value of a, which is x and a or z plus 1. This is again bitwise OR, okay, and this is bitwise AND. You see, so you see that Capgemini is asking a lot of questions based on bitwise operator. So we'll have other questions also in the next video where we'll use shift operators as well. So first let's go ahead and solve this problem. X is 6, which is, as we remember from the last time, okay, we'll again write this. This is easier for everybody to understand. That's why 1, 2, 4, 8. Now what will happen is 6 is this will be 1 and then the others would be 0. What is y? Y is 8. 8 is 1, 0, 0, 0. If we do a AND of these two, what do you get? This, so this will be 0, this will be 0, this will be 0, right? And this will also be 0. 1 and 0 is 0. So this is 0, which is the output will be 0. So here you will see that this gets replaced by 0. 0 or z plus 1. Z plus 1 is 2. How do you represent 2? So z plus 1 is equal to 2. How do you represent 2 here? So 0, 0, 1, 0. What is the OR of this? What is the OR of this and this? Right. So we'll see OR is 0 here. OR is 1, right? If any of the inputs are 1, then we write 1, right? Otherwise 0. So 0 and 1. OR of 0 and 1 is 1. OR of 0 and 0 is 0. OR of 0 and 0 is 0. That is why this is the answer, which is 2. Hence A is equal to 2. What is the answer? B. Okay, so I hope that you understood everything here. If you have any doubts, feel free to drop down, send a comment below the video, and I'll try to answer you. Okay, and if you want me to explain anything in a separate video here, please ask that also. Subscribe to the channel and we'll discuss other questions also in the next few videos. So also you can check out this Amigos app, which is a social network for college students. If you are a student, feel free to log in, and there are a lot of live quizzes, contests happening inside it. It's a very live platform which tries to replicate the environment of a college, right, on an app. So go ahead and install this. The link is provided in the description. Thanks a lot.